General Michael Langley is out. Lieutenant General Dagvin R.M. Anderson is in. To the casual observer, this might seem like just another military reshuffle, but beneath the surface, this signals something deeper, a shift in strategy, a revival of an old playbook. Let's begin with what just happened. Langley made history as the first black four-star general in the Marine Corps, but he also made headlines recently by accusing Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré of misusing national gold reserves. His comments sparked backlash across Africa, and now he's been replaced. Enter Lieutenant General Dagvin Anderson. This isn't just a change of command, it's a change of direction. Let's compare the two. Langley versus Anderson. A strategic contrast. Special operations. Anderson is a career Air Force Special Ops officer. He led U.S. Special Operations Command Africa, overseeing missions designed for speed, secrecy, and precision. Langley, on the other hand, came from a conventional Marine background. His strength was in structured traditional warfare, not unconventional counterterrorism. Joint Task Force experience. Anderson managed to withdraw from Somalia from 2020 through 2021. It was a complex operation demanding logistical finesse. Meanwhile, Langley's tenure ended amid criticism that U.S. policy in Somalia had failed to curb the rise of al-Shabaab. Air power perspective. Anderson's Air Force lens prioritizes mobility, surveillance, and remote strikes, perfect for Africa's vast terrain and minimal U.S. troop footprint. Langley was more grounded, literally, operating from a Marine strategy rooted in troop deployment and ground force presence. Global academic reach. Anderson studied at Johns Hopkins, Washington University, and was a Harvard Senior Fellow, HARD. He's a product of both military precision and academic diplomacy. Langley's background, while solid, lacked the same level of international exposure. Political fit. Anderson's approach aligns with Trump-era priorities. Hard power, reduced overseas presence, and a rollback of DEI and diplomatic engagement. Langley, by contrast, leaned into relationship building, something that may have clashed with current White House goals. Because this shift looks eerily familiar.
What did you just say?
Nothing, just had a little deja vu.
What did you see?
What happened?
France and Mali, 2013. Officially, France intervened in Mali to help fight off Islamist extremists threatening the stability of the Malian government. The mission, called Operation Serval, was framed as a response to terrorism and regional instability. But behind the scenes, there were other motives. France relies heavily on uranium to power its nuclear plants, which provide over 70% of the country's electricity. A significant portion of that uranium comes from Niger, a country that shares a border with Mali. By sending troops into Mali, France created a buffer around its strategic energy interests in the Sahel region, protecting trade routes, mining zones, and maintaining political influence near Niger's uranium mines. Mali itself is one of Africa's top gold producers. Western companies, including firms based in Canada and the United Kingdom, operate mines there. Ensuring a stable pro-Western government meant protecting gold extraction contracts and ongoing economic deals. Meanwhile, the Western media portrayed Mali as a breeding ground for terrorism, highlighting threats from al-Qaeda-linked groups in the north. But they largely ignored the broader context, how NATO's intervention in Libya in 2011 destabilized the entire region, leading directly to the crisis in Mali, the influence of unelected power structures. This isn't just about Trump, Biden, or whoever's in office. Because presidents change, but agendas stay the same. Look at the Supreme Court. 9 unelected justices, appointed for life. Some sit for 30 to 50 years, reshaping national policy for generations without a single public vote. Their rulings can override Congress, crush civil liberties, or roll back decades of social progress. Now consider positions like the CIA director or Federal Reserve chair, roles held by people like William Burns and Jerome Powell. These officials are not elected, but they wield enormous influence over foreign policy, intelligence operations, and economic decisions, and they often stay in power across multiple presidencies. These are the real architects of American power, entrenched, untouchable, and invisible to most. So when the media tells you to focus on the president, understand it's a hat trick. a distraction, a political puppet show to hide the machinery behind the curtain. The playbook doesn't change. A crisis, a target, an invasion. A justification that falls apart years later, long after the damage is done. Eyes wide open. So, what does Langley's firing and Anderson's rise really tell us? That America may be preparing for a new campaign, this time across Africa. That counterterrorism might be the narrative, but resources, influence, and long-standing agendas are the true objective. And that if we don't look beyond the headlines, we'll once again be sold a war we never asked for, by people we never voted for.